Starting it.
Right.
Good morning, everybody. This is Heidi. We are going to give everybody just a minute to get settled in, and we will start at 9:01. Um, Grab a cup of coffee or a soda or water, get comfortable, and we'll be with you shortly. All right. Well, that came rather quickly. Good morning, everybody. Again, this is Heidi. I'd like to thank you for joining us this morning as we share what's ahead in SSIS Statewide Release version 26.3. The release will be installed tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. And just a reminder that users should be out of the system at that time. Once the installation is complete, you will receive a notice, or people who subscribe to that will receive a notice that the installation is complete and you can go back into the system again. So this morning, our agenda includes the welcome and introductions, the housekeeping and the Tennyson morning, our announcements, which include the Pilot Agency Appreciation, Mentor of the Month, Modernization Update, data cleanup efforts. Of course, our topic, Release 26.3. We'll go over SSIS resources, any remaining closing announcements we may have, and a copy of this presentation can be found on the SSIS Engagement and Information site, Minnesota Engage DCYF. So, housekeeping. Attendees have been muted upon entry, and if you'd like to speak, please raise your hand using the reaction emoji at the bottom of the screen, and you'll be unmuted by one of our panelists. Questions can also be submitted using the chat feature, which will be monitored by one of our staff. Closed captioning can be enabled using the CC button located on the bottom left of your screen. And this session is being recorded and will be posted on the Minnesota Child Welfare Training Academy website. And we try to do that within 7 to 10 days following the event. Before we get started, please take a moment to read over the Tennyson warning. Basically, if you choose to participate in today's meeting by coming on camera or speaking, you're agreeing to have your image and voice recorded. So please review the warning for the full details, and we'll give you just about 30 seconds to look that over. Okay, so next, we would like to thank our pilot agencies. We just had a fabulous group again this time around. We'd like to thank Chippewa, Des Moines Valley, and McLeod County for piloting. We just loved working with all of you. We had great participation, responses, and pilot was a great success because of the work that all of you do. So thank you. And if you would like to try out being a pilot agency, feel free to send a message to either myself or to the SSIS help desk, letting us know that you would like to participate. And that'll be coming up again soon. So watch for announcements about that. We did put together a short 3-minute video. If you'd like to see what's involved in piloting, it's available here via the link. SSIS Pilot, a collaborative partnership. Um, it's everything you need to know for being a pilot agency. So next up, we'd love for you to share your SSIS expertise. We'd love to hear from agency users who have knowledge, experience, or specialty they'd like to share. We invite you to partner with us to present a topic or area of expertise during an upcoming coffee talk. So sharing ideas and real-world experiences help strengthen our SSIS community and give others an opportunity to learn from each other. So if you're interested in presenting or if you have an idea for a topic, contact either myself or Eric. We would love to hear from you and welcome any of your ideas and suggestions. So the moment everybody has been waiting for, the SSIS Mentor of the Month is Carrie Gordon from Winona County. Carrie was nominated by Alyssa Passel, and Alyssa shared, Carrie is truly the glue that holds the Children and Family Services team together. The role she is often behind the scenes and doesn't get much notice, but we would crumble without her guidance. Most recently, Winona County had endured not just one, but two cyber attacks that had a major impact on our ability to keep things updated in SSIS. Carrie, as always, was a rock star throughout it all. She stayed calm, communicated with the state, and then passed important information along to the team. We're so lucky, or incredibly lucky, we have to emphasize that, to have Carrie as our mentor, and we don't know what we would do without her. So Carrie, thank you for all you do. We appreciate you. You do wonderful work. And if you know someone you would like to nominate as Mentor of the Month, feel free to send me an email with a brief paragraph sharing what is so wonderful and exceptional about your mentor. So we welcome that, and I will put my chat or my email message into the chat for all of you if you would like to nominate someone as our Mentor of the Month. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Cassie, who is going to share a modernization update.
Thanks so much, Heidi. Good morning, everybody. This is Cassie Navarrete. I'm the Communication Engagement Coordinator with the Modernization team. And we just wanted to give a little update about what's been going on with modernization. We have some really exciting news as we've reached a really big milestone in the modernization project. So on July 20th of this year, Minnesota received official federal approval of the Implementation Advanced Planning Documentation, or the IAPD, and associated solicitations, including the request for proposal, or RFP, for the vendor who will help Minnesota build the new system. Due to the strong partnership formed across DCYF, Minute, and Department of Administration, the RFP was able to quickly progress to posting. That's really exciting. On July 27th, the SSIS RFP was posted and officially live and public. So that means over the next several months, vendors will prepare proposals, and then a cross-functional team of state and local agency staff will be evaluating these proposals so that we can decide which vendor is going to be the best one to build our new system. With that, we want to recognize, because there have been many, many people who have stepped up and really shown up and participated in one way or another to help us get to this point, this far in the process. So we really want to say thank you for all of the hard work and the dedication that's been shown and all the hard work that's been done, and for the commitment to this project. We still have a really long road ahead of us as we work towards our new system. This is a huge step and a really important step forward. So remember to check out the sentiments and feedback page to stay up to date on the most recent modernization project information, which I see Eric has put that in the chat. Thank you. And one way that we can kind of get plugged in as we celebrate those, we'll go ahead to the next slide. As we celebrate those that have taken an active role in the work being being done to get the project to this point, we encourage everyone to consider taking advantage of upcoming opportunities to get involved. Our biggest current engagement opportunity involves participating in one of our business process mapping or BPM sessions. These sessions are currently happening monthly now through January, with each month covering a new topic area. So these BPM sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied this morning. Sessions are offering both in-person and virtual participation opportunities. They're 3-week cycles. Weeks A and C are in person for 3 days. And we ask that those in-person people commit to both week A and C if possible. So it's a big time commitment, but the payoff is really important. And then week B is virtual, and that's less of a time commitment if you really want to get plugged in, but don't have as much time on your hands. Agencies can expect information for these sessions to be coming to them through MAXA. We're partnering with them to recruit representatives. But if you are interested and haven't heard about these sessions from within your agency, you can reach out to me using the email address that you have on your screen, or I will put it in the chat as well. These business process mapping sessions really, you sit down and you go through the entire process for that topic area, like click by click essentially on how you do things in SSIS, and you identify pain points, and then you think about the future state and what could be. Like, we're shooting for the moon and we're hoping to get as close to it as we can with the new system. The information that you give in these sessions will be used directly to impact the state of our new system. So it's really important that we get people that know the work and that are doing the work to give the feedback, because we want the new system to be informed by the people that are doing the work. So I hope to hear from you guys. If you're interested, reach out to your mentor or your supervisor, have them reach out to me, and we appreciate your partnership. Passing on to Marcia.
Thanks, Cassie. Good morning. I'm Marcia Riss. I am with the SSIS modernization team and working specifically with the SSIS data cleanup efforts that many of you have been involved in. So I just wanted to give a quick update on the statewide SSIS data cleanup efforts as they stand currently. So as a reminder, this work began back in May. With each month, we've added a new focus on a different data quality priority. So in May, we did clearing log items is what we started with. Agencies thus far have achieved a 57% reduction in clearing log records. So that's reduced clearing backlogs, which means more person validation and improved system accuracy and reliability. Since June, we started intakes needing action cleanup, and particularly what we consider the backlogs. We have seen a 65% reduction in intakes needing action since that time. In July, we started the unassigned intakes and work groups cleanup, and there has been a 31% reduction so far. Both this and the June effort really help to ensure that clients are not falling through the cracks. So these are especially good to see those improvements in. In August, we began doing some staff cleanup, so staff with no recent logon cleanup. So this month's focus has already brought in, I wrote this last month, I think. So no, yeah, at the end of last month. So this month in August, we actually have already seen, so we're only, a little over halfway, 33% reduction in inactive user access, improving security, and making sure that staff are being consistently and timely connected to cases. So really great work. This is significant progress statewide, so it's great to see. Across these 4 months, the progress has been steady and substantial. These reductions show that statewide participation and consistency are making a real impact on improving both the SSIS data accuracy and security, which is not only important for our data transitioning down the road, but it's making a real impact right here and now in our current system. Finally, September we do not plan to introduce a new cleanup focus area. So we know that this is a time where a lot of agencies are already pretty busy with back to school kinds of things. It gets work a little busier with social services. So instead, we're going to use September just to maintain momentum, monitor progress, and prepare for our next set of data cleanup priorities. So we are going to continue. We're just giving kind of that month off from adding anything new. So as we continue working together on data readiness, we hope agencies will continue working to implement consistent daily data practices and protocols and work to establish agency procedures that will help prevent additional backlog issues or new backlog issues from arising as we continue forward. So a couple of things on the horizon that you can expect us to work on with these efforts in the future include BizOrg cleanup, including but not limited to licensing status cleanup on BizOrgs, as well as physical location address information. So ensuring that that required information is there. Case naming convention standardization, data integrity reports from general reports, data integrity report folder. Some look at repository work and purge to ensure that those are happening regularly, and more as we continue to assess data cleanup needs in preparation for CWIS modernization. So more to come. Keep a lookout at the CWIS modernization sentiment and feedback site, which was already posted a little earlier. For more information, we do post an update at the end of each month. So you'll see something probably towards the end of next week with more updates, and we'll continue that process. And really, we just want to thank you all for your ongoing engagement. The statewide collaboration is clearly making a positive impact within our data, and these extra efforts and work are really already paying off in our current system. So that's really great to see. Thank you so much. And I will pass it on.
Thanks, Marcia.
Thanks.
Very good work to all of the agencies out there battling through all of these data integrity related cleanup initiatives. It's really appreciated here. We're going to go ahead and get started now with the main event here, which is the 26.3 release that will be happening tomorrow, as indicated by Heidi at the beginning of this webinar. Not a lot of huge changes in this release, a lot of bug fixes and a little bit facelifts on some of the screens. We ask that individuals on this call, if you're a mentor or a coordinator at your agency, that you distribute this to folks at your agency and to leadership so that they can catch up to speed with all of these updates and changes as well. And you can find a copy of this presentation on the SSIS engagement and information site. I posted it about 3 times because oftentimes people will join a little bit late and they'll request the link to the PowerPoint. So it should be in the chat for you to see. You can download that and distribute it accordingly at your agency. Thank you so much. So the first thing that we are going to talk about is the language block. The language block is updated in state documents throughout SSIS. Users can use this new block with new documents and for existing documents from the Documents Setup tab or the Service Plan Setup tab. And for existing documents, they can incorporate this change by selecting the option in the Action menu to reset the template. Please note that another option for the new language block is to use tools and external documents and print the new language block. This can be sent along with person and workgroup documents. And we'll go ahead and check the chat for any questions you might have regarding the language block before we move on. All right, giving it the obligatory 7 seconds, we're going to pass it off to Anna for some adult protection related updates.
Thank you, Eric. Hello, everyone. My name is Anna Chalupka, SSIS training specialist with the user support team. I will be providing the overview of the recent updates to the SSIS adult protection. So this first slide, there's an updated change with the APS notice of findings letter. The findings definitions have been revised. We've added the legal definition section. We also added a section about what's happens next. Also updated the agency reconsideration and DHS appeal language, updated text throughout the document from agency name references with lead investigative agencies. And then also the retention period is updated to 5 years. Just a note that you do need to reattach the local agency RTF document template header to this document. Next slide. There's also a change in the adult maltreatment report closing assessment, just some minor changes to better reflect policy. Next slide. And then changes to the APS purge. So effective July 1st of 2026, the rules for APS retention periods have changed to update been updated to comply with federal guidelines. So anything with substantiated maltreatment assessments that changed to 7 years, and everything else is 5 years. So that includes inconclusive and false maltreatment assessments, any maltreatment investigations with no determination, and any standalone intakes will be 5 years. Next slide. There's an update regarding the APS notice of determination letter. So with the no determination document that's sent to the VA, it's been updated to better reflect policy. Also note that this document also uses the local agency RTF document template header. Next slide. So with this letter, what's been updated is the content. It's really contingent to what the participant what selected on the field of who will receive this notice. We have the plain language text findings, and also it depends on what determination was selected in the AMR allegations tab. So it depends on if you selected an assessment was not completed because you do not meet the legal definition of a VA, or an assessment to gather facts regarding the alleged maltreatment was not able to be completed. So no decision will be made if you maltreated. And then also in this letter, then you will be selecting the appropriate determination plan language, and then you will be deleting the others as needed. Now, just note that for any existing documents that in draft status, where the addressee is the VA to maltreatment, a new document needs to be created. Next slide. There's also a new section that's been added to the adult maltreatment report victim information tab. And the new section is called Mark Reported Demographics. So with this section, new fields have been added for gender, race, tribe enrollment status, tribe ethnicity, date of birth, age, estimated date of birth, and estimated age. So that's a new section that's been added to that tab in the AMR. Next section. There's also a new report, and the renewal report, it is called the intake decisions by age, race, gender, and disability. So this report can be run by department, unit, worker, or all, and it also has a filter capability, and you can filter by age, race, disability, gender, or all. So just keep in mind that this report includes data collected beginning in the report's implementation date, which is going to be tomorrow with the statewide release date. Historical data is not going to be available for this new report. Next slide. So this is just an example of what the report looks like. Next slide. Just a reminder that here are the dates for our SSIS adult protection training. And you can sign up, register in train link. And we will cover some of the new features that we talked about in today's presentation. We also partner with the adult protection policy team to give us some guidance regarding the policy and explain as to why and there's also a you can give us some chance to ask questions regarding any policies and screens navigation. So sign up for the training. Next slide. So if you have any questions about the slides, let me know. If you have any questions related to policy, please contact the adult protection team. And this is their link. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna, for walking through all of the APS changes. If folks are interested in a refresher for adult protection training, as Anna indicated, you can find information on how to register on our SSIS information page on Partner Link. And there are links in this presentation to that page. All right, now we're going to circle back to child welfare and child protection related updates. We're going to give you some physical updates, and then we're going to end with some systems, security, and TET related updates. So the QRTP extended placement review has some bug fixes. The issue with the EPR button displaying 12 consecutive months review is not yet due message instead of generating a 6-month consecutive months EPR has been resolved. This issue occurred when the child turned 13 during the first QRTP placement. Another issue was resolved with the EPR screen not populating values when the QRTP placement has a placement change record created when the business organization or work group associated with the placement is changed during the placement. And then finally, related to the EPR, we resolved an issue with the EPR screen not populating values when QRTP placements included out-of-state or tribally licensed approved facilities if the license number text case upper or lowercase on the manually entered license did not match the license number text case on the 4E group provider list. For example, lowercase OSF 1234 versus the capitalized OSF as illustrated on the slide. Regarding the Minnesota proof of foster care placement, the document is updated with a list of resources and programs added. There's a couple of text changes to notes. Replaced type of placement with reason for leaving foster care, and also replaced purpose with why is this form needed, and corrected links to education and training voucher, extended foster care program, and stay in the community program. The report to the court QRTP placement addendum template is updated. Existing documents created prior to the change cannot be copied forward. This template will be split into 4 templates based upon the age of the child at the start of the EPR and whether it is the initial or ongoing QRTP episode. This document does not require a local agency header. And we will scan the chat for any questions we have on those document updates and EPR related updates. And feel free to add your questions at any time. We have an SSIS repository error update for number 5023 is updated in 26.3 to expand the population of individuals included beyond the child in placement to their birth or adoptive parents and their foster parents when applicable. If their race record of American Indian or Alaskan Native is missing, tribe and or tribal status. The name of the child in placement was added to the error description to identify situations where a parent or foster parent receives multiples of this error, each relating to a different child in a continuous placement. Entering the missing data on the race record for the parent or foster parent will resolve all instances of this error. We have a lot of question slides throughout. Not seeing any, I'll move on. Housing and stabilization activities. The following activities will be ended effective 10/31/2025 in relation to housing and stabilization services 144, housing services, and 644, housing services. So this is just an image of those activities in SSIS administration with the start date and the end date. We have some updates related to HIC picks and modifiers. 59 HIC picks and modifiers not associated with any BRAS services have been inactivated in SSIS administration. HIC picks and modifier T2024U8 service assessment plan of care development waiver will also be ended effective 10/31/2025 in correlation with the housing stabilization activities that we listed on the previous slide. HIC picks and modifiers T2019U9 individual employment support and T2019U2 employment exploration were correctly updated and transposed to reflect the correct descriptions. So now the HIC pick T2019U9 should be associated with individual employment support and T2019U2 employment exploration. The prevention services claims folder has been added to the person and physical details folder. The screenshot on this slide is highlighting that folder. And then the basic and supplemental payment rate for North Star Care for Children, that was non-release dependent. And so that went out in July. So we're just adding a slide with the link to the bulletin for folks to reference if they'd like. We have some updates to the grid related to the Prevention Services State Report. The field labeled recovery amount was changed to 4E recovery amount. County subservice was split into two separate columns, one for county subservice description and one for county subservice number. And you can see the numbers are associated to where these fall on the screenshot. And then we have a third one here, FFP type column was displaying the ID versus the description, and this is now corrected. In the Prevention Services State Report, the new 4E recovery menu option is disabled when a report is in finalized, submitted, pending, and submitted status. The option is only enabled when the report is in draft status. And the screenshot is illustrating that functionality. Before I advance, it looks like we have a question in the chat. Are we ending BRAS code 1440 effective 10/31/25? Do you mean 2026? So we cannot use this BRAS code any longer? I think we were talking about activities, but if Holly or Carrie want to jump on and answer that question, that would be helpful.
No, the BRAS codes have not ended. It's just the activities, and it's because of the housing stabilization that ended.
All right. Thanks so much, Carrie. And then for PSSR time proofing grid, the unit name has been added as an optional column in the grid for the PSSR under time proofing. Related to exclusion searches, when running a payment exclusion search and prevention services report is selected in the excluded from field, the appropriate selections have been updated and will appear in the reason field as follows: no PAT affiliation, non-reimbursable cost, not claimable client age, not claimable, no prevention services eligibility, and other. All right, and then we have an update related to the child foster care report, BRASS Service 183, residential treatment, and BRASS Service 483, children's residential treatment, are now valid for facilities licensed as Rule Code CP, child residential facility, reflecting FFPSA changes for specialized settings, QRTP, PPY, SEY, STY at risk, and SILS. Previously, the CFCR generated payment proofing message number 1230 when these services were used with CP licensed facilities. And we open it up for questions regarding those physical updates. Questions in the chat? This is just an update on what the password requirement screen will look like when updating your password. The icons for passwords have been updated. Instead of using green and red flags to show whether each requirement is met, the system will now display green check marks for criteria that are satisfied and red X's for those that are not. And then we have an update to statewide case access. The menu option request access is only enabled on the work groups tab on the state detail screen. So work groups can no longer or should no longer be able to be requested from the AP reports or CP reports tab within state detail. Then we have an update to the active workers only checkbox on the user search screen in SSIS administration. The active workers only checkbox of the user search in SSIS admin was also including users with an expired temp role. This has been corrected in this release and will no longer include users with expired temp roles and a role of none. Are there any questions to the security and SSIS admin updates? Pretty straightforward, I'd imagine. All right, and in conjunction with our statewide release, we agreed to have the time entry transformation product team do their final release today or tomorrow as well, or I believe it's happening today. Apologies. A new feature has been added called the caseload button. It's fully developed, tested, and will be implemented, and it will allow users to add time records to another user's caseload. For more information about time entry transformation, folks are invited to the SSIS homepage to access the time entry web app job aids and view a little video on its functionality. The time entry transformation project was officially concluded. Web app issues should continue to be reported to the SSIS help desk. Defects will be addressed as they arise. The caseload button is a final major enhancement and will be released today as indicated. And again, currently there are no plans for future enhancements. So we congratulate that product team for lifting the time entry transformation product up, which allows users to add time and case notes from a mobile location. And web browser. All right, I'm going to throw it back to Heidi, who is going to throw some resources your way and close us out.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. Again, thank you to Marcia, Cassie, and Eric for the updates and the release information that they shared. It was great hearing from all three of you. And we wanted to share that our SSIS resource page was recently given a new look. We encourage everyone to check it out and get familiar with the resources available on the site. The resources out there include the SSIS Mentor Manual that was just updated a couple weeks ago. We have fiscal and worker documentation, upcoming release and calendar information. We have the SSIS updates, the archives that is, and training information for those of you who are seeking to learn more. Let's see. I'd also like to highlight 3 great SSIS sites that are available as resources and places to stay up to date. We now have 3 engagement and information sites for you to follow. The first is the SSIS Engagement and Information site. It includes helpful resources for our mentors and coordinators. The second is our Time Entry Transformation Project site. It has information and updates about projects. And then we have the SSIS Modernization site with the latest information and resources related to SSIS. So I encourage everybody to follow these pages so the latest guidance, resources, and project updates will come right to you. And it's a great way to stay connected and informed. And as a quick reminder, we have the SSIS update, which is our biweekly electronic newsletter. To receive the update, be sure to subscribe. The subscription information is available on the SSIS resource page, as well as the SSIS engagement and information sentiments and feedback site. So past editions are also available in the SSIS update archives on the resource page, and it's a great place to find previous announcements, updates, and helpful information. Also a reminder that recordings and reference materials from this Coffee Talk, as well as those in the past, are available in the Coffee Talk archive, the Minnesota Child Welfare Training Academy SSIS training site. It's a great resource for revisiting topics or catching up on a coffee talk that you may have missed. And at this point in time, we do not have a coffee talk scheduled for August, but we are definitely trying to come up with something. So please stay tuned. Check the next SSIS update or the following site for the upcoming coffee talks. And that site there is linked below. So that is where you will find that. And again, we would like to thank you for joining us this morning. We hope you all have a lovely day and a great week. Thanks so much.